Hello everyone and welcome to Country Hill VW's 2021 Volkswagen Tiguan. Here I have it in the Highline trim with the R-Line appearance package. This is VW's compact crossover and an incredibly successful vehicle. It was released in 2019 and there have been a couple of changes throughout this vehicle since its introduction, and as it's been a while since I've been able to test out a Tiguan, I'm really looking forward to getting back behind the wheel. So let's hop into the cabin and then we'll take it for a drive. Before I even talk about the cabin of the Tiguan, there's a couple design elements with this vehicle that I think have to be mentioned on a very wet, very dirty day like today. First of all, when you open up the doors, you'll notice that the sills go all the way down to the base of the vehicle, meaning when you're getting in and out on a wet day like today, you don't get the side of your legs or your pants all mucky. And this vehicle in particular has one of the best features I've ever seen in a new car. When you spray the rear glass, you also spray the backup camera. So if you're ever in the situation where you get behind the wheel and you need to reverse and you look through the camera and it's all mucky, it's just a simple pushback and it's cleared off. That's a feature I hope shows up on every single new car. Now that I've mentioned those two things, let me quickly show you some of the changes I've noticed with this Tiguan. First of all is that we have USB-C outlets for the front and the rear, and this car has wireless Apple CarPlay, which works really well. You get a lot of systems where the Bluetooth and the Wi-Fi system doesn't really work all that seamlessly, but this one does work very well. You'll immediately notice that we've got the flat-bottomed leather-wrapped steering wheel with the R badging, and on the outside, just to quickly mention them, you'll have exclusive 19-inch rims, some R badging, and those chunkier black plastic pieces on the bumper. Otherwise, the interior is exactly what you expect out of a Volkswagen. You've got the excellent touchscreen, which has the motion sensing, so as it detects your hand moving closer, some of the options will expand, so they're easier to click on. All of the buttons for the climate control and on the steering wheel feel great and they are easy to use. And then you have different driving modes available with this button down here. So you can go from your snow mode, your on-road modes, and your off-road modes just by quickly rotating that button there. You've also got the digital cockpit, which has quite a lot of customization to it. Where I think this vehicle excels at most is the second row comfort, because I'm a tall guy, I'm 6'4", and I can very comfortably sit behind myself, and with all of that motion of sliding the seats forwards and backwards and reclining a little bit too, there is so much versatility with this Tiguan that if you're looking for the biggest vehicle in this class, then the Tiguan is immediately going to satisfy you. And I think those are the most important things to mention with the cabin of the Tiguan. So let's now get onto the road so I can share with you what this R-Line is like to drive. As it stands, there's only one engine available for the Tiguan. It's a 2-litre turbocharged 4-cylinder engine that makes 184 horsepower and 221 pound-feet of torque. It's mated to an 8-speed transmission, and in the base version it's a front-wheel drive system, but optional on that base trim and standard in the remaining trims is the 4Motion all-wheel drive system. Behind the wheel of the Tiguan, the thing that stands out most to me is just how pleasant it is to drive this thing. It's incredibly refined, very quiet on the highway, and it isn't something that focuses so much on the driving experience, but it does reward you with a very comfortable and incredibly easy to live with commuter. I like just being in the Tiguan, interacting with everything in this car is simple, very effective, and feels good whilst doing so. Another really small detail that any owner will love is that you've got felt-lined door pockets, so if you put your water bottle or anything else in there, nothing rattles about. So even on really bumpy, really horrible roads, you don't have things making noises in the door pockets that make it for, again, a very pleasant driving experience. Power from this 2-litre engine is very effective and to the point. I like the gearing of the 8-speed transmission, and you can change gears manually, and unless you're really pushing this motor to help gain to speed, it hides away in the background. You don't feel any vibration coming into the cabin. The exhaust noise is very minute. So being in the VW Tiguan is a joy, and if you're looking for a vehicle that has, one, the most space in this class, and two, is perhaps the most refined that you can find in this class of car, it really does compete against vehicles at a much higher price point to this. So if the Tiguan sounds like the right car for you, then head over to Country Hills VW and take one for a test drive today.